What's the price for turning a woman back into property in the year 2026?
There may be growing divisions within Trump's MAGA base, but the rejection of feminism appears to be a unifying force for right-wing males. With the help of social media, misogynistic views are being increasingly normalized. The Atlantic staff writer Helen Lewis has been keeping an eye on this growing frontier, and it's the subject of her new June cover.
Yes, folks, welcome to WWJPS. This is your host, Vanessa Pinto, and today we're going to be talking about women. People are still trying to frame this as a culture war, and I really wish it was that simple. It's not a debate, it's really a labor policy. When a nation is too bankrupt to promise its own men a future, a career, or a shred of self-respect, it offers them the only thing it has left to trade: ownership. Women are being reclassified as a homegrown supply of labor, and the men who own everything, everything else in the world, are currently buying up the supply chain. So today, we're looking at how they're doing it. Now, for most of you watching, you know that I was a family law paralegal for over 20 years. I still am a family law paralegal. So, let's talk about divorce. In the state of California, we have what's called a no-fault divorce, which means you can just get divorced because it's not working, right? You don't like each other. It doesn't even have to be insidious. It's just not working out, okay? Now, let's find out how American men think about this.
In all 50 states who want to end their marriage can get what's called a no-fault divorce. Right now, couples in all 50 states who want to end their marriage can get what's called a no-fault divorce. Neither side has to prove that the other did something wrong, like committing adultery, abandoning their spouse, or treating them cruelly. But some Republican lawmakers in a handful of red states want to get rid of it. They say it makes divorce too easy, and they say it's unfair to men since it's estimated that 69% of divorces in the United States are initiated by women.
It's unfair to men, right? Unfair to men, why? Because they cannot control when we leave. So that means we're their slaves, we're their property. So again, let's really look at how that sounds. So now you want to trap a woman from being able to leave a marriage, right? It's unfair to men. And men in this country view women as a sex doll, baby machine, and housework slave, right? And then that makes them feel better, right? Because no matter what job they have, they're still better than their wife. We have no rights. We answer to them, and women are inferior. And it keeps the government from giving men any type of masculinity, any sort of power or self-esteem, so they blame it on women. And white men are so fucking stupid, they choose to believe it. Oh, and let's not forget the part of why we actually have no-fault divorces, right? Is because of domestic violence, so that women can get out. And if you think I'm, exaggerating in terms of how the MAGA man and Trump specific, let's hear him talk about domestic abuse.
One of the most, and some people say the worst, the most violent city. Can you imagine our capital being the most violent city? But it was really bad. Into a totally safe zone. It's called a safe zone city. There's no crime. They said crime's down 87%. They said, no. It's more than 87%. Virtually nothing. And much lesser things that take place in the home they call crime. They'll do anything they can to find something. If a man has a little fight with the wife, they say this was a crime, see? So now I can't claim 100.
Do you love that? Do you love that? The way he just simplified that. A man fight with the missus and they call it a crime scene. Mind you, this is the man who his first wife accused of rape during their divorce. We now know that allegedly he is a pedophile to little girls and little boys. He is a convicted rapist. He is a convicted felon. He is an all-around disgusting human being. So I don't really think we should be taking his opinion on this, but that's just me. Now, let's move on to the incels, because that's actually where all of this landed. I remember a kid named Elliot Rogers. The main reason I remember him is because my sister went to UCSB. This little bastard, some rich producer, Hollywood dad, not in front of the camera, behind. And this little privileged fuck who was raised with a silver spoon in his mouth, but could not figure out how to talk to women, how to have any sort of personality. So of course that's women's fault. So let's see what he did about that.
Have my revenge.
Look at his psycho little face. Listen to what he says.
It's the day of retribution. The day in which I will have my revenge against humanity, against all of you.
This chilling video shows Elliot Rodger, the 22-year-old Santa Barbara college student who police say killed 6 and injured 13 in Friday's mass shooting and stabbing spree. This day of
It was gnarly. Like, I remember this. I mean, he took that car, he plowed people down. I believe he stabbed the people in his house first. So he stabbed like 3 people, then went out because, of course, he blamed girls. So he went and targeted a sorority and just wanted to murder a bunch of girls. Now let's look at Brian Koberger, the sicko in Idaho. It's never quite been really debated, but it's clear that guy was an incel. Intentionally celibate, right? Intentionally celibate. No, they're not intentionally celibate. They're celibate because they're fucking disasters of human beings who have no fucking self-awareness and refuse to be anything other than a fucking victim.
Retribution, a plan Rodger outlined in a 137-page manifesto obtained by CNN affiliate KEYT. Rodger wrote, all of those beautiful girls I've desired so much in my life, but can never have because they despise and loathe me, I will destroy. A family friend.
Why is it that in America, if a man can't get a woman to go out with her, it's not like, okay, let me just try again. Let me be a better person. Let me find out what she likes. Maybe, no. That fucking cunt. And then it becomes a hate crime because men in this country are taught that they are owed a woman, which is why now all of these things with, repealing women's rights are happening. So when the American dream stops paying out for white men, they don't look at the billionaires who hollowed out their economy. They look for someone to dominate. If it can't be providers, right, they'll settle for being the owners. That's the entire foundation. It's built on a fragility so profound that they can't handle the idea of us existing outside of their control. They want a world where women are nothing more than a slave, a sex toy, and a baby maker. They are absolutely losing their minds that we've managed to carve out lives where we absolutely don't need them. But now they've found a secret weapon. Let's talk about Erika Kirk. Turning Point USA, for those of you who are fortunate and don't know about these people, it's where Charlie Kirk, that ill-advised young man who was murdered, allegedly, by a foreign nation and covered up by our government. Well, Erika Kirk, his widow, the one who's highly inappropriate with those MK Ultra eyes and her uber conservative beliefs, she is now lockstep with telling young girls to get married and just have babies and listen to their husbands.
Turning Point USA Women's Leadership Summit with Erika Kirk, the widow of Charlie Kirk, at the helm of Turning Point.
Your life belongs to Christ.
There are so many things going on. It's like a state fair for conservative beliefs. What does being a woman leader mean to you?
I think leadership, whether you're a woman or a man, is determined by your virtues.
Being feminine, but also bold. You can tell that she's with Christ.
That God is living in her.
Attendees and speakers.
The way that girl spoke, that God is living in her. Look at these brainwashed little MK Ultra Christian girls who don't even realize what is being done to them right now. The manipulation and the propaganda in this country is real.
Have really framed women's leadership in terms of being Christian and following God. What do you think your role as a Christian woman is?
I just want to glorify God, and I want people to know how God feels about them.
The reason why we're on this earth is to spread the gospel.
Whatever I do, I give for the glory of God.
And Erika Kirk really went there as well.
Isn't that great? You don't actually have to have any sort of opinion or backbone when you give your glory to God, because God is going to ask women to give away all of their rights, to become baby-making slaves, to not be able to vote, and to essentially do what the white men say.
About 20 minutes in, a heckler got up and started screaming, and she was quickly dragged out. And
I mean, to be fair, she does protect pedophiles. I believe that one of the pastors that she works with was arrested and charged. I believe that there was a incident in Romania, I believe we also have inappropriate phone calls with her and young girls. So I'm just thinking that the pedophile protecting MK Ultra-eyed widow of Charlie Kirk, telling girls not to have a career and just get pregnant, good God. I don't even think. And now, of course, we have the traditional family influencers, which is this. And the fact that those women know pedophile protector and that their issue is more with being godly than protecting young girls, that's propaganda I don't even know how to explain. Gavin Newsom's not perfect, but he pretty much said it best.
It is about the United States of America. He doesn't believe in that. He believes in the red states. He's going after, it's a war. He's a wartime president. He's the head of a war party. War on women, war on voting rights, war on Hispanics, a war on this state, war on institutions, war on history.
And he's wanting to put women much back, and that's why he is such an avid supporter of Erika Kirk. And going back to Erika Kirk, that little movement that and again, I find it odd that there's a man who's trying to tell women, hey, you're losing rights here. But again, that propaganda is real and it's working. So now let's find out how these women, these MAGA women, feel about losing their right to vote.
Are you planning on voting in the midterms?
The people that voted for Trump were just very fed up. Both my husband and I are really disappointed.
What is the number one motivating factor for you when you decide, who you're going to vote for?
I don't want a party that's going to tell my son he can cut off his penis.
But your plan is...
I don't want a party that can tell my son he can cut off his penis. This is what people are worried about. This is why America is the most ignorant fucking country in the world. That little bitch is concerned about her son being trans and not about her daughter being arrested for an abortion, losing all of her rights to vote, and being a man's slave. Real smart there, lady. Real smart.
To vote Republican.
Yes. The Republican Party is the party of freedom.
These are some of the voters that Donald Trump and his Republican Party desperately need in order to hold on to power. Conservative, mostly Christian women at a leadership summit hosted by Turning Point USA. The right-wing advocacy group led by Erika Kirk after the assassination of her husband, Charlie Kirk.
God, just look at her. And this is why the panic over no-fault divorce is so loud right now. You've got these men screaming it's unfair to them. They're gunning for no-fault divorce because they know that as long as they have an exit, as women have an exit, then they no longer have that right, and they're not as important as they think they are. And for men, that's really all they need to think. It's disgusting. And I know some of you are thinking, Vanessa, you are really, really being dramatic here. I mean, they can't really feel that way about women.
Women are the kind of people that people come out of.
Her face, when he said that, was fucking priceless. I don't know how she didn't stab him in the eye.
No, it doesn't take any talent to simply reproduce biologically. The wife and mother, who is the chief executive of the home, is entrusted with 3 or 4 or 5 eternal souls.
I'm here as a working journalist, and I'm a mom of 3.
Good for you.
Is that an issue?
No. No, it's not automatically an issue.
Christchurch senior pastor.
It's not automatically an issue because he gets to judge her, because he's a man, because women just pop out babies. Oh my God, this country. By the way, this guy has a church in D.C. and Hegseth is really behind him. Our fat fuck of a Department of Idiotic War.
Sir Doug Wilson is the leader of a Christian nationalist movement that believes in a patriarchal society where men are dominant and women are expected to submit to their husbands. Josh and Amy Prince, along with their 4 kids, moved from Washington State to Moscow, Idaho, where Wilson's movement is based.
Do you see Amy as your equal?
Yes and no, in the sense that we're both saved by grace.
You gotta love that. Yes and no.
We're absolutely on equal footing, but we have very different purposes.
But these are all those same people that also are trying to do voting by household. And of course, it would be the men, that would be in charge of that, right?
God-given.
But do you see yourself as the head of the household, as the man?
He is the head of our household. Yes, and I do submit to him.
So moving here.
And I do submit to him. And she says that willingly. This is the thing about America that I genuinely never realized. We will vote in or we will welcome our own demise as long as it fits this weird propaganda bill. And it's really disturbing. It's really disturbing.
It was ultimately your decision.
Yes.
That's a great
example.
Wilson says in his vision of a Christian society, women as individuals shouldn't be able to vote. His fellow pastors Jared Longshore and Toby Sumter agree.
In my ideal society, we would vote as households. And I would ordinarily be the one that would cast the vote, but I would cast the vote having discussed it with.
He looks like he's read a lot of books, gone to a lot of countries, really done some studies, doesn't he? Doesn't he really look intelligent?
My household.
But what if there's your wife doesn't want to vote for the same person as you?
Right. Well, then that's a great opportunity for a good discussion.
There are some who have gone so far as to say that
for why she's wrong, because he's going to make the decision.
They want the 19th Amendment repealed.
I would support that. And I'd support it on the basis that the atomization that comes with our current.
Look at these mediocre white men. They're pretty pathetic. I guarantee you they probably don't make more than $100,000 a year. Their entire self-worth is due to God and how they punish women, which is pathetic because your life is small. And when you die, you'll still be nothing.
Current system is not good for humans.
And Wilson, a veteran himself, is unapologetic about his view that women shouldn't be in certain leadership or combat roles.
Looking at the leadership page for Christ Church, it's all men. Do you accept women in leadership roles in the church and in government?
In the church, no.
Why?
Because the Bible says not to.
Well, that's not what happens in the Bible. Women
Yeah, no, the Bible doesn't say that at all.
do lead all the time.
Progressive faith leader Reverend Jennifer Butler is concerned about Wilson's growing influence.
He is rapidly gaining in power. He has hundreds of churches established around the country.
That should concern everyone because that means it's happening, which means that this is what America wants. And so women, as I'm making this video, wake the fuck up. And if you don't, and if you welcome this in, then you know what? I wish everything upon you that will come to you. Now, let's talk about with Roe versus Wade being abolished, how that's been working out.
Brother watching over a woman's reproductive pathway.
It's shocking that they put this all in writing.
Do you believe in punishment for abortion? Yes or no, as a principle?
The answer is that there has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah, there has to be some form.
Asked if there should be punishment for the man involved.
There has to be some form of punishment. Let's hear that again.
There has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah, there has to be some form.
Asked if there should be punishment for the man involved, Trump said no.
Because of these crazy laws, we have less OBGYNs that are in the state of Texas than we probably need.
Texas saw a
So look what happens when you turn women into a forced baby machine and things go wrong. We were promised exceptions. We were lied to. Many women have. They have died because the state decided their lives were worth less than a political talking point.
Mortality between 2019 and 2022. That's compared to an 11% uptick nationwide.
The damage to women who experience miscarriages has been overwhelming.
We cannot treat you because of the 6-week abortion ban. You have to be near death.
The Biden administration argued Idaho's law directly conflicts with a federal law that requires hospitals to provide patients in an emergency whatever treatment necessary to stabilize them.
Her life is not in peril, but she's going to lose her reproductive organs. And yet Idaho says, sorry, no abortion here.
Practice 2025 proposes to end the federal government's enforcement of EMTALA, which is a federal law that protects access to life-saving care.
This is the kind of situation that we would have all across the United States.
Because again, it's about control. It's not about protecting the life of those babies. It has nothing to do with that. It's about the fact that women need to be controlled.
On Medicaid wouldn't be able to choose Planned Parenthood health centers for basic preventive health care services like birth control.
Birth control is also used to help women regulate painful periods, to help women who have hormonal issues.
Underneath this all is a real deep misogyny, a real deep hatred of women and the power that we've been able to assert in the last few decades. And by power, I mean actual
actually just getting equal rights?
Abortion's not health care. I find it really interesting, if not worse, that you wouldn't support the change of the department name to the Department of Life. I thought we were all in support.
Doesn't he just look full of, independent thoughts, right? Hundreds of women, mostly poor, mostly marginalized, are being dragged into criminal justice systems because their bodies didn't do what the law demanded. And if you can be arrested for a miscarriage, you are not a citizen.
Of life. We believe eminently in women's rights, and particularly women's rights in the womb.
They're trying to identify personhood as the moment of conception.
Life beginning at conception has so many different ramifications, not just on abortion, but on IVF.
Controversial ruling from the Alabama Supreme Court that frozen embryos are in fact children.
So that essentially women have no more control over their own bodies.
Imposing those specific Christian extremist religious views on all of.
Aren't we all so proud to be an American? And for those of you who hate Insta, you can just stop watching right now. But let's look at this little video that I found.
The Supreme Court ruled 8-1 that the government could cut a woman's body open and take away her ability to have children without asking her. Her name was Carrie Buck. She was 17 when her foster family's nephew raped her. When she got pregnant, they called her crazy. A judge agreed. The 9 men on that court said sterilizing.
Because again, her getting pregnant and that boy raping her, it's clearly her fault.
Sterilizing her is fine. After that ruling, 30 more states passed the same law. 70,000 Americans were sterilized. The Nazis cited Buck versus Bell at their war crimes trial to justify what they had done. That ruling from 1927 has never been overturned. Right now, 31 states have laws letting a judge order forced sterilization. Iowa and Nevada passed new ones in 2019. The Supreme Court could fix this. They haven't. The Supreme Court ruled 8-1.
Well, now let's talk about how they're coming for women's right to vote and why.
Candidate Zohran Mamdani won the New York City mayoral race with the support of 82% of young women. Some people on the right have talked about repealing the 19th Amendment that gives women the right to vote. They say this is the only way to restore goods like the true meaning of marriage and legal protection for the unborn. But in today's episode...
Right, because they know we'd burn the system down as long as we could vote, right? So now, this is what I love. The reason Mamdani, if that's the case, bless us women, that man is wonderful.
I'll show why this kind of rhetoric has the opposite effect and will make it harder to push back against evils like sodomy and abortion. First, let's take a look at a common argument in favor of repealing the 19th Amendment. Here's Protestant pastor.
Can you believe that this is actually a conversation? I put that there for the madness. Yeah. This is insanity. This is what these people think.
Sir Dale Partridge in a clip that has been seen over 4 million times on X.
Can vote in America? I don't think so, and here's why. Nearly every legalized moral atrocity of the last 100 years was made possible by the female vote. Abortion and homosexuality would likely still be illegal if not for the female vote. Mass immigration in the welfare state rode on the backs of the female vote. Nearly every modern Democrat, including Obama and Biden, were elected because of the female vote. Even last night, the new Muslim New York City Mayor Mamdani won specifically because of the female vote.
However, many people who make this...
Well, let's not forget how the tech bros feel about us. Peter Thiel doesn't want women to vote. And then, let's hear from Alex Karp. I wonder how many drugs he's on today.
And including in Silicon Valley is how disruptive these technologies are. If you are going to disrupt the economic and therefore political power significantly of one party space, highly educated, often female voters who vote mostly Democrat, and military and working class people who do not feel supported, and you feel like you believe that that's going to work out politically, you're in an insane asylum. Like, that you cannot have it. This technology disrupts humanity's trained, largely Democratic voters, and makes their economic power less.
What is not shocking is that Palantir CEO Alex Karp publicly shared that he plans for his AI technology to make female and Democrat voters less powerful in America. But what is shocking is that his dumpster fire of a PR team wasn't able to rush on stage and physically wrestle the microphone away from his hands before he shared this publicly on TV.
And including...
It's troublesome. It's truly troublesome to me, the fact that right now we are not liked. There's a lot of violence happening towards women, and if you think about this, as a domestic problems, the fact that the United States wants to go backwards when the rest of the world does not should also be something to think about. It would be one thing if, let's just say, everyone wanted to go backwards, not that that would be good. But let's take a look at the UN vote, the other day, right? So the world stage, the United States and Israel were the only countries on the panel to vote against a UN resolution on the rights of women and the elimination of violence against women. They want to be able to be violent with us, to rape us, to force us to have children, to do whatever they want with us. And only America and Israel feel this way. Well, and I think that the U.S. is making it very obvious. They want to subjugate everyone that they want to in the world except for white men. Period. Full stop. Well, I haven't given any solution. And unfortunately, it's because women in this country don't have many right now. I mean, our fascist regime, it's not going anywhere. And beyond the fact that we have so many traitorous women among that party, there isn't a lot of hope for women right now. Not to be that way, but I'm being downright honest. I don't feel super safe. And so what a lot of women are actually doing are leaving America.
Another study by political scientist Blanchard argues that abortion restrictions have become a catalyst for ideological migration, with young educated women the most likely to relocate. Because duh. And if you look online, the emotional reality is really obvious. Some women describe leaving their states because they feared being denied care in a medical emergency. Others say they stayed, but only because leaving wasn't financially possible. When a country tells you it can't guarantee your bodily safety, you'd stop imagining a future there. Safety, the daily background fear. America is a country where mass shootings happen in grocery stores, movie theaters, classrooms, wherever. Where women routinely describe street harassment as normal. Where political and extremist threats have become a part of everyday life. Time recently profiled trans Americans fleeing the US.
And that's mainly why I wanted to make this video, is because it's getting way more normal. It's getting way more normal, and really the only answer is women are leaving the country. That's it. You either leave the country or you go backwards, and you risk that. And not everyone has that option, and I understand that. But this is where we are as a country, that if you want any sort of anything to get better, you have to leave. Because what's happening in the United States, it's not going anywhere, folks. Americans are too lazy and entitled to do anything about it. They're still waiting for the November election. My God, they still think the November election will save them. God help them all. Drop a black heart if you've made it this far, and thank you so much for listening.